declaratives, or the three types of statements: factual statements, value judgments, and definitions. We said that there are two parts of a definition, the definiendum and the definiens. You don't know a certain word, which is what definiendum. Then you use the other words that you know, the definiens, to give meaning to the definiendum. So if I'm giving you a definition, it simply means I'm making something meaningful to you. I'm using what you know to help you understand what you don't know. Now, how do we do that? There are several ways of doing that. But before we go to the types of definitions, you see the types, let me tell you something about definition. Aspects of a definition, if you like. You see that we have learned the parts, definiendum and definiens. Don't confuse the parts, the head and the tail, with what it does, or some things that you can say about it. Okay? So right now on your screen, you will see connotation and denotation as what? Two aspects of a definition, two things about definitions. When you have a definition, it may be connoting and denoting. Every definition, not may, it is actually connoting something. Based on the connotation, it denotes something. The connotation is just the meaning. Every definition has a meaning. So if I give you a bachelor is an unmarried adult male, I've just given you one connotation, one meaning of the word bachelor. I could also say a bachelor is the degree we earn when we enter the university for the first time. So you earn a bachelor's degree. That is not an unmarried man's degree. No, it's another meaning that we give to that same word bachelor. So bachelor can connote what? An unmarried adult male. And it could also connote the degree we earn at first entrance into the university. It is in fact even a type of what? Button. Button that you use to button a dress. Then I'm told that there is also a flower called bachelor flower, something like that. So the word bachelor can mean several things. That simply means it can connote several things, connotation. Now, the particular examples that each connotation refers to is what we call denotation. So let me have someone read. Look at the stress we are going to go through. Then you have to go all the way to unmute mics again. If people can just cooperate, then we will have a seamless session for your sake. For you are going to write. I will open assessment today. Do it yourself. It will help you. All right. Let me have someone read for me, please. You should be able to mute your mic now. Winifred, say, kindly read what you see on the screen for me. We are discussing connotation. Every definition has a connotation and a denotation. You could unmute kindly and then read for me. Oh, Winifred, please unmute. Are you still muted? Winifred. Okay, let me take Bright. Right, go ahead.
Is the clinical research on? Chair is the head of an institution.
Winifred. Please read. Read for us.
Madam, please, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Read.
Yes, we can hear you.
Chair is a furniture research. Chair is the head of an.
That's the second one. And third one.
Chair is a person who chairs an affairs of a meeting.
Okay, so these are three different meanings that we give to one word. The word is chair. But when I say chair, it could mean the furniture we sit on. It could mean the head of an institution. It could be the person who steers the affairs of a meeting. So these are three different connotations of the word chair. Three different meanings of the word chair. That's what that. Now, It means that if I define chair as a furniture we sit on, then it means I can point to what I'm sitting on as an example of a chair. I can point to what you are sitting on. I'm hoping that you are sitting on something that is a chair. Okay, so the particular examples that I point to, that I can break, that I can shift, I can lift from one place to the other, is the denotation of the word chair. The denotation of the word chair is the particular example. So that if I define chair as the furniture we sit on, then the physical chair, the blue one, the square-shaped one, the one that has 3 legs, the one that is a sofa chair, the one that is this, those are the particular denotation of chair. If by chair, you mean what? Furniture that we sit on. If I change the connotation to what? Chair as what? The head of an institution, then its denotation will change immediately. What it refers to will also change immediately. That's the point. Okay, so it will move from chair as what? The one I'm sitting on, the one you are sitting on. Now it will move to chair as what? EC chair, Electoral Commission chair. See the woman. We'll start listing human beings because we are referring to the head of an institution. Even the use of head requires, we'll look at it later. But the one who heads an institution is not the thing we sit on. So when we say the EC chair is coming, we are not saying what we sit on at the Electoral Commission is coming. There is a different connotation forward matter. Any questions with that? Okay, so let's take someone to read. Now, Judith, please read what you see on the screen now. Hey, do I have to unmute you? Yes, I'm Cassia Pao. Now, Judith, go ahead. Miss Na, you can unmute now. Go ahead.
No.
I can hear you now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And things. The legislature agreed to table the motion another day. The rows and columns in the table are too complex. Your breakfast is already on.
Please, can you hear Na?
Don't hear.
You are fighting. The one who said you can't hear her.
Hello,
My
hello.
friend, I find gentleman who said we can't hear. You won't say I just allowed the mic.
Hello.
Okay,
Hello.
let me start all over again.
Madam.
We
Yes,
need a
please,
man
go ahead.
to read it.
Let me hear Miss Na now. Miss Na, go ahead. Start again.
The legislature agreed
Madam, please, there are
table
people
the
waiting in the waiting room.
another day. The rows and columns in the table are too complex.
Very good. Thank you very much. I'll continue with Miss Na. There is no one, listen to me, that if anyone is trying to get into the meeting, they should check which link they are using because I haven't disallowed entry for this group and this meeting. If they are using the other meeting link, they won't get in because we are not there now. I'm now in this meeting, okay? And currently there is no one in the meeting room, in the lobby.
Huh?
So let them check their link, okay? Thank you very much. Now let's see.
Could you please speak up? We can't hear you.
I'm shouting my head off far here. So please, if you could check also your volume. Mine is 100%. And I've had, this is my 3rd session today. So could you, if it's the lady reading, then I think that she would look at it. Miss Na, okay, let's continue. So I was saying that, and it is being recorded. So when we finish and we play back, we'll see what went wrong. Okay. Now, yes, please, thank you very much. I was saying that Miss Na read on the screen, the legislature agreed to table the motion for another day, to table it for another day. The rows and columns in the table are too complex. We are using the word table again. Your breakfast is already on the table. It's also a 3rd use of the word table. Now tell me, class, please, what the first meaning of table is. Do you see any difference in those three uses of the word table? I'm trying to show us how one word table can have different connotations. That's all. Anybody? Michael, do you want to address that, please? Michael, do you want to address that? Lisa, go ahead. Lisa, go ahead.
Madam,
Go ahead.
For the first sentence, means the legislature agreed to go for the motion.
They agreed
To go
to
for the
put
motion.
it up. So when we say table there, it means I will put it up for discussion at the next meeting. We are adjourning, but I'll put it up. See, it says the legislature agreed, the MPs agreed to table the motion for another day. They agreed to bring it up for discussion another day. So the use of table here is not a furniture that we put something on. They are saying we'll bring up that discussion later at our next meeting, say. Okay, so we are using table, but here tabling means what? Bringing it up for discussion. What about the second one? Anyone? Abdallah. The rows and columns in the table are too complex. We are using the word table. Which sense of the word table is that? Yes, sir.
And this is talking about a normal chart.
Is that Abdallah speaking?
This is Abdallah.
Abdallah, go ahead, please.
Okay. Which of the sentence is that?
The rows and columns in the table are too complex.
The rows and the columns in the table are too complex. This
Yes.
one refers to a table, maybe a mathematical table that they have drawn to illustrate.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. So a graph work, or say
Graph.
an Excel sheet or something like that, where we have
Yes.
columns
Yes.
and rows on it. Exactly. So here too, we are using the word table, but we are not saying we are going to bring it up for discussion. No, it's another sense, another connotation, the word table. How about the third one? Thank you, Sir Abdallah. Let's take the third one. I will take it from Rebecca. Rebecca, the third one. It says, your breakfast is already on the table. That's the one we are familiar with, right? Thank you, Bella. Please, which sense of the word table is that? Lady Rebecca, please go ahead. Oh. We are waiting, don't worry, we are very patient because of the network. So go ahead.
Madam. Yes, please, Madam. Hello.
I can hear you clearly. Go ahead.
The table we made, the normal table, the
Very
furniture
good.
table.
Furniture. Okay, very good. So it means all I'm trying to show you with this is that the word table could have at least these three, they can be more. At least these three different what? Connotations, meanings. And based on the connotation we are using. So if we use table as we are using it in the first sense, it will have a specific denotation. It will refer to some specific particular example. And then if we use the second one, it will also refer to some particular examples. And the third one also refer to some particular examples. So depending on which meaning you are associating with the word table for that time, we are able to tell which denotation comes with it. That's the whole point I'm making. That's what is written there. Notice the different connotations of the word table, and based on that, how its denotation will change. Now, let's read something on the screen. If you confuse the different connotations of one word in the same context, as if it references the same thing, equivocation. Let us read that. Nanaya, please read what you see on the screen. Oh, Nanaya, you can unmute and read, please. We are waiting. Oh.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. So please read. Thank you.
If more than one connotation of a word is used in the same context without any signal of the shift, with the intention to manipulate or to persuade, the speaker is accused of committing equivocation.
Thank you very much. So we are trying to detect a certain error in language. When we are using language, there's a certain error. Equivocation is not something to be proud of. It is an error in the way you are speaking or someone is speaking, which we must detect. Okay. When you are using the different connotations, that simply means the different meanings of that same word in a confused manner. You are using the first meaning of the word, but then you shift as if you meant the second meaning, then you shift to the third without signal to the people listening to you. And I said that in the previous class, so let me say it here too. It often happens with our use of words like law. You see, when you say he's not breaking any law, or he's breaking the law. You see that this society doesn't endorse that. Then we are all following, we feel that, oh, that's a convincing argument the person is making. But we may go into our statutory laws and will not find any law that the person is breaking. So which law were you appealing to? Is it the social norm? Is it the moral code? Is it a customary law? Okay, is which law? Because law can be different. It can have different meanings. So someone can say something, and when they go, they say, oh, it's a misdemeanor. They will let the person go home. Meanwhile, you also go and say something. The person broke the law. They will give him bail that day. No. Sometimes it's just a small fine. Like some sister goes to scratch the fellow sister's face over a guy. They scratch their faces because they were fighting over it. They say we want to settle it out of court. They will let you go and buy a chocho, and then the other person you to buy kubu and go and solve it. But if you go and say some other thing, you two are breaking the same law supposedly. That's what people think. The same law. Say no, there is law and there is law and there is law. I tell my students, if you come to the Legon campus, then, not now, but then, if you are wearing red, don't go and pass me the Commonwealth Hall. Red dress, there you are walking on the street. They will whistle at you, coco, 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 coco. You'll be confused, sisters. Why? Because there's a certain law, supposedly, on Legon campus. You can wear red on any day. Now it's a bit mild. So people come. If you a lecturer, went to the lecture hall, the student will be sitting looking at you straight. Like you can hear whistling, and you don't see who is whistling. But they whistle with their through their teeth, and they'll be doing. You'll be confused. You have to leave the lecture hall because there's a certain moral sensitivity, a certain societal law that you would be breaking for Legon campus. But no one will arrest you to take you to the police station, which is very close by here, because you haven't broken any, if you like, civil law or statutory law or constitutional law, but you have broken our sensibilities on the campus. It's still a law, just coming from law, because of the passing of the chief then and the burial and what have you. Certain laws were activated. I mean, we are in Accra. You can hear the ban on drumming and noise making. When the Ashanti king had to bury the mother, we know what happened there. But it is not any law like when you go and say that will be cool, whether you meant it or you didn't mean it. What I'm trying to show is that all we will hear is, oh, but when they gave this one bill, but why is that this one they've not giving it? We are dealing with different connotations of the word law. A sister can decide to come to the lecture hall in swimsuit, bikini, and come when the lecture is halfway through and everyone is concentrating. She can come in her bikini, gra, gra. Maybe she's heavily endowed to front and back, and enter gra, 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 and wants to go and sit in the middle where the bridges are passing. You can't arrest her. She's breaking a certain law, but not the law that makes you arrest someone. Like when someone steals a laptop, how you handle the person. Okay, so I'm showing you that. Look at, as I'm speaking right now, I showed you about 4 or 5 connotations of the word law. Your unit 5 gives you such examples. Civil law, statutory, criminal, human, or if you like, human laws that bind on us as by humanity. Okay, I'm saying that sometimes we are very equivocal. Moral code. So our morality issue, some believe that it is divine. I mean, if you don't pay your tithe, well, anyone come and arrest you. Maybe the Holy Spirit will. All right. So equivocation. We are going to read some examples of that. So you can detect that. Otherwise, the person will make an argument and it will look so good. Or you yourself, you'll be making an argument that looks so good until a smart person points that up at the United Nations meeting and tells you that, but you are equivocating on justice. Yeah, I mean, you're equivocating on the notion of freedom. We cannot allow you to do what you want because this is your nation. What you are doing is infringing on other people, blah, blah. You look stupid. If someone points it out, then you should also be able to point that out. So let's look at some instances of that, and then we can move on. Madam, please read for me now. Thank you.
Hey.
Please read for me. Oh.
Is my screen still,
is it back now? Yes.
Please, it still has the detecting.
The detecting equivocation.
Yes, please. My screen still have it.
That's what I want you to read. Because I want you to read the example down there. Yeah.
Okay. So with the examples, the legislature, okay. If more than one connotation of a word is used in the same context without any signal of the shift, with the intention to manipulate or to persuade, the speaker is accused of committing equivocation.
Good. Example. Madam, read the example down there. Yes. Go ahead.
Please, the example isn't in, like, I cannot see it.
Oh, it's down there. Who can see my slide, please?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I don't see why women are always complaining that they do not enjoy the same freedom as men do.
Yes, this is a very paternalistic arguer. Let's hear him again. Auntie, start again. Please read slowly. I want people to get it. Go ahead.
I don't see why women are always complaining that they do not enjoy the same freedom as men do.
Mm-hmm.
It is a free country. So what's the problem? Everybody in Ghana here is free to do what they like.
Thank you very much. Let us interrogate this. Can you see the equivocation class? Can you see how the person is using different connotations of the word freedom? And it looks like he's making a compelling argument. But I, at my little small self sitting here, can floor this argument with. Let's interrogate it together. So I want critique.
I don't understand.
Now we are that's why we are here. So let's be Clinton. Please interrogate this for us. Raise some questions. Are the different meanings of freedom? The different meanings of freedom that the person is using. Do they coincide? Are they the same? Let me help out so that we don't waste too much time. Look at the person saying, I don't see why women are always complaining that they do not enjoy the same freedom as men do. Please, do women enjoy the same freedom as men do? I want to interrogate this.
No.
So when a man and a woman get busy, husband and wife,
Yes,
get busy
they have the same
at that
freedom.
time of the night, and there's pregnancy. How many people carry the baby?
Only the woman.
Only the woman.
So
Two of
what
them,
do we
the two of them,
exactly?
the two of them. One be carrying it, one be carrying it in the head. One
Please don't unmute your microphone. One person has to carry that load and be expanding. She will just be there. She starts becoming double her size. Please don't unmute. I beg you. I want people to understand. So let me explain. Can she freely choose to pass the 2 babies in her tummy to the man to hold them in the tummy for two weeks so that she can continue later? She doesn't have that freedom.
Possible. It's not possible.
So I'm trying to make a point here. Do women decide to be at that time of the month? They don't choose it. You see, when and that the implications, what that thing can do to your career or to your studies. I mean, someone has studied that, then that day for the exam, when she has to show for the interview, she gets into a bad mood because of that thing that she doesn't choose. It's given. It's part of your nature. I'm not even talking about nature. Where we'll go into some societies, you say a woman's place is in the kitchen and all that. Those ones are caused by someone. This one is what you are by nature. You can turn the tables around. The man is an egoistic person. As the psychologist, some men will kill themselves out of the. That I'll be disgraced. Let me die. Women have compassion naturally, so it's not always that it goes against the man. What we are talking about. Sometimes you say that you're a woman. That's why I don't understand. A woman that is in this situation can manage. But I'm a man, an African man at that. You know what I'm going through. So I'm trying to say that when someone just comes to make a blanket statement like the one we are reading, that I don't know why they are complaining. Don't we all have the same freedom? Says who? Do you menstruate, brother? No apologies. You know, labor pains. We are all pushing the baby. I heard someone was going to say the woman carries the baby in her tummy, whilst we carry the baby in our mind and our pocket. Look at that. You are paternalistic. I don't know. So let me say it's free. The freedoms are never the same when it comes to this. So this notion of freedom, this meaning of freedom, that women and men have the same freedom, it's not the same. They can have the same freedom when it comes to what the ability to choose. Like if I go to the mall, I can choose chicken. And then the man can say me, I like goat meat. That one, we all have it. Freedom of choice. But if you extend that sense of freedom to saying that we enjoy the same freedoms as men do, you are confusing two different meanings of what freedom. Then look at what the person even goes further to say. It says it is a free country. Does that sense of free country mean the same as the first two uses of freedom we have engaged? No. We are a free country, yes, in that meaning of free, where you can get up, go and buy what you want to buy at what time and sleep. Look at Ukraine. Ukraine is not a free country now. The people can't move out. Even Russia is not a free country now. Even a Russian have to check when you are moving, because you don't know whether a bomb can hit you. Right? So in that sense of it, if you are comparing it to Ghana, we say Ghana there, apart from the top there where there are some few skirmishes now, we are not under curfew. So we can say we are a free country. But are we a free country such that the prisoners can come out and come and buy Kofi Brookman and go back? If the prisoner will go and tell the prison warden, please, I want to go and buy a plantain. You want a plantain, maybe open the gate from there. He is in Ghana, but he doesn't have freedom to do what they want to do, even voting. Crimes and Anciana, we had to force and get. I'm trying to show that. So don't use the word free to mean everything. Free, I say free. Free, 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 and free. So far, we have done about 4 different senses of the word free. The woman and the man have freedom. If by freedom we mean the ability to choose, they all have it. But their ability to choose doesn't transfer to what? Equality in terms of what they are naturally made of. I haven't gone into the social setup where all the sisters will work to take care of that one brother, because Bema there, the two is Bema. When the gun shoots, it hits a man's chest. Look at the way we are grooming ourselves here. You see, so the person speaking is confusing about, I've said about 3 of them already. It's a free country, yes. So we are not under curfew, if you like. There isn't any bomb hovering over our head to blast. Another nation is not. Do you think that Russia will tell you that they are just enjoying through? They feel threatened. So they feel their freedom is under threat. That's why they are doing what they are doing. And Ukraine feels threatened. So everybody is protecting freedom. Are they both free? In that sense, we can say Ghana is free. But if from there you say that it's therefore, look at what the person continued. Everybody in Ghana here is free to do what they like. I asked you, what about it? You are free to do what you like. Why are you sitting here this afternoon behind a laptop and so a desktop? Who told you that you really want to do what you are doing? Me, I don't want to be in my office Sunday afternoon, 1:30 till 6, teaching critical thinking. I'm doing it not by my will. No confuse, man for chop. You are doing it because if you don't do that, you won't get degree. That's why. So it's not free biasa. It's just the ability to choose. You could have chosen not to do anything. You have chosen to be a thing. But you want to learn. So it is not, you see, the different meanings that have been confused together, the person is using to make a case is what we are addressing. The person is committing equivocation. You have to tell them that yes, it's a free country, but you can't get up and come and slap the lecture and say that after all, I'm flexing my muscles to see how effective when I go to Olympics to go and do the boxing. So I get up, I'm expressing because it's a free country. Free SHS, we love it. It has its problems, but the motive is good. Is it free or it is free, yet it is not free?
It's not free.
It is free, but it is not free. However, it is free, even though it is not free. Different connotations. That's the point we are making. And so if you confuse the different connotations of one word, you can say, I use the law thing, the case against homosexuality. That's why people are pushing for us to have it enshrined clearly without ambiguity, like the way we know that I'm robber. If you go and take this, it has to be clearly stated there. Otherwise, we may be confusing moral arguments with divine codes, with customary laws. You know, there are certain customs. If you go and take somebody's daughter, get her impregnated without marrying her properly, right? And she's going to deliver and she dies, you will marry the corpse. Yes. Remember where worry and you crop your hair. Some women, widowhood right, you drink the dead, whatever. Bodies, water from the dead corpse. It is their law. So that's a different connotation of law. It is not a civil law. And it is not what? A criminal code. And it is not a customary one. And it's not a moral one, like the one that the sister wore her swimming suit. We'll use our eyebrows to put her in shape. We'll look a bit tracer. And then the Holy Ghost conscious folks will do katabroni on her. We'll play our tongues on her. Sister and the demon, she has entered the lecture hall in her swim suit. But you can't arrest her too. That's the thing. So I'm showing you that these are what different laws. That's why we say they are breaking the law. You have to be clear. Are you not equivocating? Which sense of the word law are you using? I just used freedom also. These two are central in your textbook. You will see them there. Now, Madam, please read the next one. I'll ask you questions around this one and definitions. That is why I have spent so much time here detecting equivocation and correcting it. Please continue, Madam. Example 2.
Okay, example 2. I don't see how you can say you are an ethical person. It is so hard to get you to do anything. Your work ethic is so bad.
The equivocation in this is straightforward. The first use of the word ethical is connoting what? Righteousness, something about morality. What is right, morally speaking? The second sense of it is describing how you are working, your work ethic, your work dealings, how you deal. So not necessarily whether it is right or wrong, but how you work, not whether it is right or it is wrong. A person is confusing both uses of the word ethic. One, ethic as it being right or wrong, and the other one, ethic as the routine. And he wants to use them interchangeably without prompting. Look at the third one. Sister, read that, please. Thank you.
Sure, philosophy helps you argue better. But do we really need to encourage people to argue? There is enough hostility in this world.
Here again, the word argue is what they are contending over. The first one is saying, when you do philosophy, it helps you to argue better. You here is what? You present your case and ground it with evidence. So whoever is speaking now is trying to think of the word argue in a positive light, where you give evidence to support your claim. The one objecting is saying, the objection part of her case is that, but do we really need to encourage people to argue? The second use of the word argue is what? To dispute, exchange words. That's another way of thinking of the word what? Argument, to argue. So the first one is the philosophical meaning of it, or if you like, the logician's use of the word argue, which is what? Positive. When I say he likes to argue, this guy, he doesn't say things without grounding it. He will argue and present evidence to support his claim. That is argument here, meaning supporting your claims with what? Evidence. Argue, positive. Then the other one is arguing, disputing. The same word connoting different things. So this person starts by saying, oh, philosophy helps you to argue. But before he's finished, but do we really need people to argue? It's confusing the different senses of the word argue. Equivocation. I asked your friends this other one. Let me ask you also. Noisy, that one is not on my slide now. It's on the other one that I'll ask you later. So think of it and answer. Noisy children are a real headache. 2 aspirins, or if you like 2 paracetamols, whatever medicine you have in mind, 2 aspirins will make a headache go away. Therefore, 2 aspirins will make noisy children go away. Say it again. Noisy children are a real headache. 2 aspirins will make a headache go away. Therefore, 2 aspirins will make noisy children go away. Can you see an equivocation in what I just said?
Yes.
What are they? Yes, what are they equivocating on?
Yes.
Sanaya,
On children. Children.
Noisy
Headache.
children.
listen, noisy children are a real headache. 2 aspirins will make a headache go away. Therefore, 2 aspirins will make noisy children go away. What's the word that I'm equivocating on?
Aspirin.
Noisy children are a real headache.
Madam headache.
2 aspirins will make a headache go away.
Headache.
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 You say why it is headache. Let's
No.
Physical
It's noisy
disturbances
children.
and the real headache.
Okay, so now let's explain why. Please, if you are really confident, put up your hand so I can call you. There are a lot of hands up. Meanwhile, you call them, they don't respond. Hey, Edio. William Sedo, you want to explain why? If not, then you put your hand down so that those who raise their hands, I can know. Okay. That's those who are reacting to this question, I can call them. William, can you help me out there? Okay, comfort. Then put your hand down for me, please. Go to the same place and select it. It will let your hand drop so that I'll see those hands that I have. Thank you. Okay, Rebecca. Now there are 10 hands, and I don't know who to call. Emmanuel from Paul.
Madam.
Yes, Emmanuel, go ahead.
Yes, madam. Madam, with the two, that's the first sentence.
Let me read it again. Noisy children are a real headache. 2 aspirins will let a headache go away. Therefore, 2 aspirins will let noisy children go away. What am I communicating on?
Yeah, well, with the first one, it's talking about how children are really loud when they're in the house. They cause a lot of problems. Yes. And the second one is just plain, it's just straightforward. When you're feeling any, you just take 2 paracetamol or any painkiller, you are good to go. And the
So what am I equivocating on? That's what I want to know first.
Oh, okay. You are equivocating on the headache.
Very good. So when I say, yes, that's important, headache. I'm saying noisy children are a real headache. This meaning of headache. And the second one
But
that
I
we
hope that
don't
that's our focus on that.
coincide. Coming. Two noisy children are a real headache. Then I continue, I say, 2 aspirins will make a headache go away. The first use of headache is what? They worry. Children worry. When they are noisy, they worry. Not that they give me headache as in my head is paining,
Yes.
but they worry,
give
they
problem.
disturb, they stress you. Yes. Then the second one says, if I take 2 aspirins, it will make a headache go away. This second headache is not worry. It's head pain in the head. So the first use of
Madam,
headache
please,
is what?
our screen is different from our discussion.
Please listen to me, okay? Listen to me. So 2 aspirins will make a headache go away. Therefore, 2 aspirins will
Madam,
let
please, the
noisy
screen is
children
different from
go.
the
Oh,
discussion.
can you listen to me? Before I started, I told you that example is not on your slide. I said that.
Master, that doesn't matter. Don't worry. Listen.
Okay. Before I started with this example, after you listen to Madam's this one, after this one, example 2, example 3, this. I said I want to give you another example for you to reflect on. It is in my other slide that I'll give you when I'm dealing with ambiguity, equivocation, vagueness. That is after we've done the definitions. I'll do that with you. It's on that. But I wanted to test your understanding. So I read it off my head, okay, to the class. This was the slide we were on before we moved here. This is what we are going to do next. That's what I've showcased. So listen to what I'm saying, okay, please. Noisy children are a real headache. 2 aspirins will let a headache go away. So that is the equivocation. I think it is clear now. The equivocation is on the use of headache. These are the kinds of questions I will ask you. The earlier you get used to it, the better. Otherwise, you won't do well. You assess claims, you will evaluate, you will check for validity, cogency. That is what you will do. You will not just be giving us true, false, A, B, C, D. And we will check and see if we're able to pull you all from wherever you are to main campus to come and write in person so we know you did it. So comport yourselves, friends, and let's see. Otherwise, we'll enforce that. All right, so we go on. Now, on our screen now, types of definitions. Lexical definition, ostensive, operational, stipulative, and theoretical definitions. These are all big words. When we don't understand a word, the first place we'll be directed to will be to look it up where? In a dictionary. That's a lexicon. So if I don't know the meaning of a word, remember we are doing definitions, I can be asked to go to what? The dictionary to look it up. So I'll do what? Lexical definition. And to read the second one. That's a type of definition. Ostensive. I want to see if you can see my screen. Ostensive.
Okay. Pointing to, into bracket, demonstrating.
Exactly. Thank you very much. So if I point to give meaning to something, I'm still defining it. You see that sometimes you can't, certain words, you can't define it. You just point to show what it means. For example, if a child asks you what is the sky, how will you define sky to the child? Are you going to the sky is a combination of this? What are you going to tell the child? You just point to it.
You just point.
Yes. To give the child what? A meaning of what sky is. So when I point to the sky, I am still defining sky. I'm still giving meaning to what? The child. But I'm doing so ostensively. I'm ostentiating. Okay. So pointing to gives meaning. Sometimes I won't point to, but I'll demonstrate it. For example, if someone asks me, oh, Charlie, do you know the dance called Azonto? What's the latest dance? Okay, give me some. Happy Feet. It's a new dance. Okay, so if, I mean, I don't know that my boy says there's a dance called Happy Feet. So if I ask you, hey, so what is that dance called Happy Feet? You could point at it when you see the guys dancing. That you could tell me, hey, look at that is happy feet. What I'm doing is defining. I'm defining by pointing, or I could do it myself to show you. I could demonstrate it and then dance like that and say, you see what I'm doing? This is happy feet. It's still ostensive definition. Then there's the third one. So don't forget to lexical, ostensive, operational definition. The third one, operation, you give the steps to follow to get to that definition, that word, the steps that you follow to get to it. I always use, let me use cake. If you ask someone, what is cake? Or what is, yes, let's use cake. What is cake? Oh, cake is that pastry that you get when you mix flour, sugar, margarine, you stir continuously. You pour into a bowl that has been what? With a shape, you spin your margarine inside so that it doesn't stick. You pour in. You see what I'm doing? I'm giving you the steps. You pour in the pastry, put in the oven at a good temperature. It will bake. What comes out is cake. I gave you the steps to follow to get to it. I didn't have to do it myself. If I did it, then it would be ostensive. But here I gave you the direction, the instruction that will lead you to what? That thing. So I still gave you meaning, but I gave you the meaning operationally. Stipulative definition is the fourth type. They are all types, not parts, not aspects. I'm not dealing with the types of definition. Come on, what guys will say, we are going to charge. When we say we are going to charge, then you go and take your charger. You are lost. You are not on campus. Well, when we say SUP, S-U-P, what's up? When you see that, or what's the other thing? IKR, on WhatsApp. If you don't know, you'll be there. The people will be talking across your head, and you'll be sitting there. This Gold Coast people, when they hear people doing this, they write on the WhatsApp platform. IKR, what's that? I know, right? You see that? OMG, oh my God. TG, thank God. That one I said that V-note me. Then I said, please, what's the meaning of V-note? They was, oh, and I said, yeah, voice note. And I said, they are all stipulative by fiat, by agreement. They are jargons used by a collective. So it is always deviating from what the general usage of that word is. I told your friends, Pantman girls, we would say osmosis. When you see two ladies talking and say, oh, what's wrong with this osmosis? So we understand the movement of what? Water molecules from the region of lower concentration to the region of what? Higher concentration. That's just a nice way of talking. So we will be there, all the visitors are there, and we'll be talking osmosis, or osmo they check, or we hit our shoulder, and we'll be looking at a different direction. But the lady in question will know that we say you have soiled yourself, or sit well. Or sometimes grandma will, tickle at her nose some way while she's standing in front there. It means the people is sitting in front. You have opened your doors ajar, close them. These are all stipulative meanings. So it is not the way we use the word every day. That is why I said, if the vandal says they're going to charge, don't go looking for your charger. Leave campus. They're going to demonstrate. You are going looking for brush charger or iPhone charger. You didn't read it well. It's a stipulative meaning. Okay. If you got that also, then it means I could come to class and tell the rep, please, when I come to class and I say I want water, I mean give me sobolo or give me gin. Okay, so the students are in class, you all know what water is. But when I tell the class rep, please give me water, everybody thinks that they are going to get me water. Meanwhile, what she has brought me is ogogoro. Jane, I'm teaching and I'm drinking and teaching and drinking. And if lecturer is drinking water, there's no news for the class. The class rep knows that there's trouble coming. Before long, I'm drunk. Why? Because I use a stipulative definition. I could go on and on and on and on and on. I'm just showing you that stipulative definitions are not the general use of the word, what you would find in the lexicon. Okay? If these help you, then we can now come to the theoretical definition, the one that is based on theory, academic, institutionalized, discipline. You should have a whole knowledge of that academic discipline to be able to understand that kind of definition if it's a theoretical one. For example, if I say water is H2O, it will not be the same as the definition you find in a dictionary. A normal dictionary, lexicon, will say water is an odorless, colorless substance that forms the mass of what? The sea, water. That's the lexical one. But if you went to the chemistry lab and they will say, take two, whatever of H2O, 2 cubic meters of H2O, for example, because they are measuring something. That H2O there is water. It's water they are saying, but they will speak the technical language, but they are the lab. 2 molecules of hydrogen, a molecule of oxygen at room temperature is what we mean by water. What you see, H subscript 2, then what is after that is not 0, it's an O, oxygen. You don't write the 1 for that. The point is you must know a whole chemistry to understand that kind of definition of water. That's why when I'm cooking in the kitchen, you are cooking, and you are calling your house help or something to bring you water. You don't have to say, yeah, bring me H2O, bring me H2O. The water is burning, the banku is burning, bring me H2O. Are you the only one who has learned chemistry? It's a wrong place to use that kind of meaning. It will not be meaningful to the audience. That's all I'm saying. So depending on the audience you have, you determine which kind of definition will be meaningful to the people. Because remember, the object of definition is to make meaning to the audience. So if I have a student audience at level 100 and I'm teaching this critical thinking, the sign of capacity that I know my staff is how I'm able to present it to the people in question. For it to be meaningful, not when I'm able to show you that I'm an expert in that thing. I'm not doing that. You are not marking me. I'm there to make an impact, something that you can grasp and work with. So I can present the same thing different. But if I met my peers and we are trying to interrogate something, I'll speak the technicality. So the nurses, the doctor, the law people, what have you amongst us? Your ability to come down to the level of the audience you are engaging is the sign of what? Intelligence. Not when you are throwing your weight all over the place. The sickness you have is trypanosomal, whatever of the heart, which means that your pulmonary artery has shifted to the arteries of the diabetic, to a patient. A patient, unintellectual. When you say all of that, when you finish, you say, oh, that means common cough. If it's common cough, tell the patient that. Stop being all theoretical and go ostensive, operational. So I spoke about E-Levy. I said, look, E-Levy is now going from north, south, east, and west so that it can be grasped. The meaning of it can be grasped by the people. I talked about COVID-19 protocols. When we were all theoretical about it, people didn't even know what we mean by mask and how to wear it. When we started going operational, not just operational, but ostensive, we demonstrate, we do it. Look, the fire service folks will gather people and say, look, when there's a fire outbreak, this is what you should do. The simulations, they are more tangible to the person than all the pictures all over the place. They show them, do it for them to see. Give the steps. More importantly, you can have the lexical definitions all over the general one, but catchy words that makes it easy for people to grab the meaning, stipulative meaning, and then we can make some progress, okay? So after all that is said and done, you can see the last type of definition down there, which is what? Real definition, also called ideal definition, also called eliminative definition, also called what? Essential definition. What type of definition is that? You see that it is in another color code. It means I'm going to say something more about that type of definition. It has some weight that the others don't have. Stipulative, operational, theoretical, ostensive, lexical are all types of definition, ways of what? Giving meaning to an unknown word. But real definitions have a certain specialty with them. What is that? The definition is really doing what a definition should do, really doing it. Then wherever you see its definiendum, the definitions must be able to replace it, and vice versa. Wherever I see the definiendum, so a definition like a bachelor is an unmarried adult male. If it were a real definition, then wherever I see the word a bachelor, it must replace an unmarried adult male. So wherever I use it, it must mean that. But tell me, whenever we use the word bachelor, would it necessarily mean an unmarried adult male? No. Like I said earlier, here we are looking for what? A bachelor's degree as our first degree from the university. A bachelor's degree is not an unmarried man's degree, is it? So we are pursuing our bachelor's. But here, the word bachelor doesn't mean an unmarried adult male. It doesn't mean so, friends. It means something else. Therefore, if I define bachelor as an unmarried adult male, I cannot call it a real definition. It will have some weaknesses. Okay, that definition has some weaknesses. It doesn't do what an ideal definition should do. Ideally, remember, ideal guys are not on earth. I'm looking for the ideal man. I'm looking for the ideal man before I said ideal. I told your friends, so let me tell you, they are in heaven. They are dead and gone. Enoch, Seth, Elijah, I give Abel. They are all gone. The ones on earth, they have flaws. They are like they are like those definitions. So ideal definitions are not common. That's the reason why they are also labeled as what? Ideal. Eliminative. Eliminative is what I explained earlier. You can shift their position. So the definiendum can sit in the place of the definiens wherever you use that word. The meaning won't change. Then there's essential definition. The word captures the meaning essentially, not some examples of it, but what the meaning is. Okay. Now, take note that definitions of the different types can overlap. So you may have a theoretical definition captured as what? A lexical definition. You go and look into the lexicon, and it is repeating what a certain theory captures as the meaning. So like water is H2O. It's a theoretical definition. So it's supposed to be in chemistry, but you may go and find it in the dictionary. Take note. So that possibility is there. The textbook should give you some further elaboration. Any questions before I build on and add one or two other things? If it's not a question, can you kindly lower your hand so I will see those who have a question? I see Rebecca, I see Stephen, I see Richard, Banahene, I see Najudit. And still counting Emmanuel Frimpong. You all have questions? Let me take them. Richard, go ahead if it's a question. If it is not a question, kindly lower your hand so I can see those who have questions. I see 5 hands.
Madam.
Emmanuel, go ahead. Emmanuel Frimpong.
Okay, madam, with the previous, that's the other definition, that's the real definition. Yeah.
Yes.
Madam, so are you saying that if the definition does not describe the thing as a real thing, it's not a real definition?
What I'm saying is, if you know definiendum, right?
Yes.
And you know definiens.
Yes, the definiens are
okay. No problem. So if you know that, then if you have if that definition is a real one, wherever the definiendum is, it should be able to replace the definient anywhere you use it. So whenever I say a bachelor, it has to mean an unmarried adult male. But we have ourselves just found out that sometimes we use the word bachelor and it doesn't mean an unmarried adult male. It means a degree that we earn in the university. So if I define
madam,
an unmarried adult male, it is not eliminating. Therefore, it is not real.
Okay, madam. So what you are trying to say is that a real definition should define a word that maybe shouldn't other also define another word again.
Its definiendum must replace the definiens in all contexts of its use. wherever. That's how I capture it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So for example, thank you, you're welcome. So for example, if I say an even number is any number that divides two equally without a remainder. I'm doing mathematics. Wherever I use it in maths, that context, wherever I use it, so I'm doing mathematics. Wherever I use even number, it will mean what I have said. To divide two equally without a remainder. But if I'm doing sociology and I say family is a blood relation, I can still use family still in sociology. It doesn't refer to blood relation. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's a family, it's still the family. And the family here is the sisters, brothers, friends, who live with them, all that. They don't have blood. I mean, if it's blood, then people from Cote d'Ivoire are Ghanaians. And those from all the way from Adam, we are all blood. What? So Russia and Ghanaians and Russians and Americans, we are all one. Because the blood then will come from Adam. You see that? So the notion of family is not well defined. Some people can think of their dog as more of a family to them than their household. They will buy corned beef and prepare dog food so that the dog will be strong to defend them when thieves come. The house girl will eat the rest of the cassava with the soup, not even the food. Why? Because for someone, even the friend is more of a brother than the blood relation. Okay, a blood relation person, like my brother, like my sister. I would think that, oh, my friend is more close to me, thinks of my interests more than that friend, that brother. Excuse me, I'm getting distracted. So let me capture Bible. Maybe it can help. There is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. That's how someone. So for someone, family is not blood. It's the one who looks out for my interests. So their friends in the room can be more family to them. And you can't say she's wrong or right. But you can't have your own meaning of 2 plus 3. That as for you, 2 plus 3 has become 7. I'm trying to show you that from a real definition, we can have what? Open textured terms versus what? Well-defined terms. If a definition is well done, if we define a word well, or if it is a real definition, then we'll call it what? Look on the screen now. It will be a concept that is well-defined, like even number, like odd number, like prime number. 2 plus 3 is 5 in mathematics. It can be otherwise because the meaning of what? 2, of plus, of equal to in mathematics is fixed. You can't have your own version of it, but I can have my own meaning to family. Brothers and sisters in the Lord. Our former president of blessed memory will say, Muniano, my brothers and sisters. Meanwhile, this man is my grandfather. But he calls everyone brothers and sisters because he can have his own understanding of what a brother and a sister is. Look at fidelity, a word like fidelity. You can have your own, you can't force everyone to have one fixed meaning of what fidelity. I used our Muslim friends, for example, can have more than one wife. And it is not a sign of infidelity. But some Christians can't even have 1.5. I mean, the legally married wife and then to swap. You can't have the handbag. You try that, it's a sign of infidelity. So who is right and who is wrong? None. Different perspectives. Remember, value judgment. Different beliefs, different doctrines, different grounds. You think that Russia doesn't think it is embarking on justice? What it is, Russia is doing, putting things is just. Because he has to defend his territory. He feels threatened. So he has a certain notion of justice that he's pursuing. Whilst our friends in Ukraine are also looking for justice. They feel that they have to be protected. And America thinks it is pursuing justice, even in Iraq. America felt it was pursuing justice. To come and destroy Gaddafi was justice for some people. So whose notion of justice is contestable? That's what I'm trying to show you on the screen. Justice and the definition for justice is not like 2 + 3 = 5, which is well defined, and therefore you are dealing with closed concept. Notions like justice on the screen now, friends, look. Justice, fidelity, democracy, family, development. They are open class concepts. They are open to contest. You can contest, we can argue. That's why the law courts will keep changing. We will keep reviewing our constitution, because we may engage again and say, no, we have to revise what we mean by this and what we mean. The same discipline. Revising our concepts as we contest them, as we engage them. You see that as we review. Why? Because those concepts are not closed concepts. Look at the previous slide. Look at this on the screen now. If the concept is a closed concept, it will be well defined. It will not submit itself to further discussion. 2 + 3 = 5, period. Because those concepts, 2 plus, you can't say as for you when you see plus, you interpret it as minus. Then don't come and do math. You can do some other discipline. By math, if you put square root there, square root has a meaning, which does not open itself to further contestation. No. Division, it has a meaning. In logic, the same thing. The laws and the rules are clearly defined. Doesn't allow for different perspective, because you are not dealing with an open class concept. The concepts are what? Closed. I will ask you to distinguish open class concept from a well-defined concept using practical illustration. You should be able to answer. Okay. That's the reason why when the notion that we are engaging in is an open class concept, in other words, one that, look on the screen now, one that is what? Essentially contestable, then you cannot have a yes or no. We all go to court now. If someone has an issue, they will take the person to court. One lawyer will be defending the person. The other lawyer will be prosecuting the person. The judge will be listening. Why? Because whatever is in contestation is about justice. Justice is not a straightforward thing. Then why do we go to court? Look at the political one, the politics one. We were in court for over 1 year. Still thinking about it again. Sometimes, even after sentence has been passed, people say we go for appeal. Appeal, we go to where? Supreme Court. Even Supreme Court, we go for review. Why? Because we are contesting something that doesn't have a straightforward answer. If it is 2 + 3, you wrote 5, and the teacher gave you wrong. When we go and show the teacher, say, oh, I'm sorry, correct it. You can't say 2 + 3. As for me, the way I taught it in the class, the 2 + 3 has become 17. That's why I gave your child wrong. The teacher is in big trouble. 2 + 3. We don't care how you taught it. It's 5. And Jadua, correct it. The same with logic, okay? So closed concepts create what? Well-defined. When I say closed concept, it's the same as what? Well-defined concept. They don't open themselves up to further contestation. If you got that, then you will see that real definitions generate what? Well-defined concepts. And so those definitions are closed. They don't allow for further and better explanation, different viewpoint to know. Whereas open class concepts, as we have them on the screen, allow for different viewpoints. That's why we say they are essentially contestable terms. They are words that you can contest what they mean. So for me, family may be my sister. For another person, family may be a friend who has stood by her. For someone, family is their foster parent. They are real parents. They didn't even meet them. So they can't call them family. They grew up 70-something years, then some man comes and says that I was actually your father, but all you have inside me supposedly is the blood, but everything I'm made of is someone. So the person doesn't consider this new person as family. You can force them. At church, you say we are a family church, brothers and sisters, brethren and sisters. The person speaking is my grandfather. I still says brethren, because of the notion of family we are dealing with. None is wrong, none is right. Open class concept. All right, I think I did an over elaboration on that to help you. Now let's get someone to read what is here on the screen. I take Princess. Princess, if you can read, go ahead quickly, please. Unmute all first, then you will unmute yourself, Princess, and read for me. Thank you very much, Madam, who read earlier. Did a good job. Princess, go ahead. Unmute and read for us. Read through quickly.
Okay. I can't see anything on my screen, sorry.
Hey, Princess, is that your background? Can you see types of definition after that moving? Can you see it now?
No, what I'm seeing is a blank screen.
Oh, a blank screen. Please, who can see my screen?
Yes.
I can see.
Go ahead.
I can see.
Thank you very much. On definitions. So can I have the gentleman read? If you have a very good background, then read for us so others can benefit.
Yes, yes, I can read.
Okay, yes, I can read. Please read for me.
On definitions, okay, all right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Open textured terms.
Good.
Open textured or open class concepts.
Very good. I can
It's a
ask you
word.
this can be a question. Open your eyes wide, friends. I can ask
All
you,
right.
which of the following is an open textured term? People will say we never saw open texture. All we knew was open class. It has come. So go ahead.
Yes. A word is open textured or essential contestable if it has several connotations, and therefore any meaning can be contested even within the same discipline. Example of such terms are family, justice, fidelity, democracy, etc.
Etc. Hold on for a minute. If you go into your textbook, it gives you several others. Unit 2, you will see several others there. Look at Ghana, not Ghana alone. Some nations accepting to be called developing nations, whilst others are labeled as developed nation. Is there any nation that has finished developing? Development is a present continuous thing. It's always ongoing, but no one is asking any question. They label you like that. They call the dog, give it a name that will fit it. Then they use that, and people are not questioning anything. Why are you allowing yourself to be called developing nation and others are developed? Agbena. It's an essentially contestable term. Development. What about someone say, but they have high-rise buildings, and others who have moral, morality. They work with their moral code. I don't want to label anyone. Communal ties are strong. When I'm sitting and grandma enters, I'll get up and give her the seat. It is part of us. We should value them and stop looking for buildings that are going to heaven, Tower of Babel, and everything that calls itself so-called modern. What is modernity? Modernity. Obviously, may born life. Today, they may born life. What is life? People are dead walking on earth, building buildings. They are dead. If you have a certain connotation of life, you see that some people died a long time ago. Those who believe Bible a little, and they said, Cain, the day you eat this, let's use Adam and Eve, the day you eat this, you shall surely die. After that, the man was walking around. Yet he was walking, giving birth to Cain and Abel and things. Did he die? He died, but he was not dead. I just want us to understand that these are notions that are essentially contestable. That's all the examples are supposed to help you see this point. Life, there is life and there is life. So it's not the high heel shoe or the designer hair that I have put on that makes me bore life. If by life I mean something else, the notion is essentially contestable. Okay. The day you started living, they tell you, the day they gave birth to you, that was when you started dying. If you have a good conception of life, you put your house in order. All right. The second one. So we know essentially contestable or open class concept as a build-up from types of definition. From real definition, which gives us well-defined terms. We are able to contrast well-defined terms with what? Open class concept. So read this one too. We are finishing for the day.
All right. We look at well-defined concepts. A term is well-defined if its definition makes completely clear which objects or individuals or properties are correctly called by that word. Its meaning is not contestable in the discipline in question.
Very good.
Common in deductive studies like maths and logic.
Good. And as I refer to the definition of even number in the textbook.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, thank you very much. So if a definition is well done, if you have done, I've given you a well-defined concept, it means that when you see that definition, it clearly, unambiguously points to what? The denotations. There's no ambiguity in the denotations. I'm saying that when you start counting bachelors, you count Kofi, Kwame, Kojo, who are not married, before long, a con certificate, philo certificate, social certificate will join the queue. And you can't ask them, what are certificates doing in the line of human beings? Well, they are also bachelors. Then before long, buttons will join the queue. And then there will be flowers. They are all bachelors. Confusion. See. Meanwhile, when I say an even number is a number that divides two equally without a remainder, and I say list them, you list numbers throughout, and the numbers will divide two equally without a remainder. 2, 4, 6, all the way to the top. So even number is well defined. It clearly shows you by the properties. It clearly shows you particular objects or individuals that are captured by that definition. That's what makes it well defined. We'll ask you that also. Any questions? Thank you so much, sir. Be on standby. I think you read well. So if you don't get any reader, then you continue for us. You see 9 hands up.
All right.
Are they all questions, please? Rebecca, is it a question? Please ask. Princess, is it a question? Please ask. Ray, Chira. Okay, if it's a question, please ask.
Oh, I had a question, but you already explained, so I'm good.
I explained it. Okay, thank you very much. Winifred, say, Savia, pray. Savia, please, if it's a question, I see 14 hands up now. So I am unable to help those who genuinely have a question. If you kindly would put your hand up. Nanaya.
Our question is about if you.
Okay, Bright. Is that Bright or Chira?
Yeah, Bright.
Okay, Bright, go ahead.
It's Chira, madam.
Okay,
Yeah.
madam. So the main difference between the open textured and then the well-defined is that the open textured has a lot of connotations, and then the well-defined has maybe a single one.
Yes, if you say just a single, we may have a challenge. But even where there might be one or two, it is not contested. You argue about it. That's why we say essentially incontestable. That is for the well-defined one. Whereas the other one is essentially contestable. You can contest, you can argue about what democracy is. You can argue about what justice is, and so on and so forth. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So that's the main distinction. Yeah. Thank you. Please lower your
Madam,
hand now.
please.
Yes, go ahead.
If you can throw more light on the operational definition, operational and the.
Operational.
Yes, madam. On the.
Yeah. Operation, the types of definition. Operation gives you the steps, instructions that will lead you to the unknown word. The steps that will lead you to the unknown word. So, what word do we want to? Let's say I want to define fufu. Well, I don't know what I can help with. I'm hungry, so let me use fufu. What is fufu? Someone, maybe you have an expatriate friend. He comes and he says, oh, I'm told that Ghana has a staple food. It's called fufu. What is fufu? What is fufu? So fufu is the food that we produce when we boil cassava and plantain or cocoyam, or sometimes even yam. Boil them after cutting them into smaller chunks, after, of course, peeling, put them into a bowl, pour water on it, put on fire, let it be tender, boil hot till it's tender, pour the water off, then pound the pieces in a mortar and pestle, or blend it to a very fine consistency, mold them into dumplings and add taste. That's what I've just done, say, is to give you the operational definition of the steps that take you to food. That's operational definition. So you don't have to do it yourself, but you show how to get there. The plastic surgeon can give an operational definition of delivering a baby. through CS in the room at the lecture hall without the simulation, without any human being or any act there. She will just sit there and say, if you want to cut the mother open, make sure that the incision is at 6 inches from the abdomen upwards. And then do this, and then do that, and then do that, and then do that, and then pull the baby by the head and make sure that it close. When you finish, blah, blah. What I'm doing is giving you the steps that will take you to safe delivery. So when you do operational definition, you just instruct on how to get to that unknown word that you are trying to give. I don't know if that helps.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Can I take some more example questions? Sorry. So there are still hands up. I still see some hands up. Yes, please.
Madam, please. So in ICT, maybe there's a question asked about how do you launch an icon or how do you launch an application? And you say launch an application is by you double clicking on the application. Is that also an operation definition?
When you say launching and whatever is what? Say it again. Launching what is what?
Launching application.
Yes.
Right,
yeah. How will I hear your friend? Oh.
Hello, Auntie.
Madam, please. Hello.
Yes, sir.
I can hear me.
I can hear you now.
Okay. Madam, I was talking about maybe in ICT, when they ask the question, how do you launch an application on a desktop? And you answer by launching application on a desktop is maybe by clicking the application, maybe double clicking the application on the desktop. Is it also an operational application?
Yes, except that the response is not like a definition for me. The response is like a factual statement. So if you were to give me a definition proper, then I can tell where to place it. Okay? When you are trying to give me the meaning of something. Now, if I took your response to be a definition, then I'll take that to be an operational one. Okay.
Oh, hello, Angie.
Okay, so
yes. So
hello, please.
I have a question.
Please, on equivocation, my network went off, so I couldn't get it well.
Yeah, so that's why it's being recorded. Say, okay, so that you play it back.
Please, Nanaya here.
I don't know if that helps. So we don't have a very lengthy repetition of so much. Because when you play back, you get everything that I've said on the equivocation.
Please, I have a question.
Yes, please, Nanaya, go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to ask you that concerning the well-defined terms, can you substitute well-defined with a standard? Because sometimes people will ask you, can you give the standard definition for this particular word?
Standard can just be lexical definition, so you can't do that.
Okay.
Like a standard price. Meanwhile, if you want a customized make, then you may attract more an increased price for that same gadget. But if you go and say, I want the standard, what is standard could mean what is the norm. Meanwhile, you may want, so if you use the same idea in addressing the type of definition, it's safer to say well-defined. Because standard could mean the lexical definition, what is generally. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Welcome. Manuel Pompon, you still have a question, please?
Hello.
Manuel Pompon, yes, please go ahead.
This is Joseph.
Go ahead, Joseph. Let me take your question.
I want to find out whether there is actually a clear-cut definition between the lexical one and the real one. The difference between them, or they are interwoven in a way.
Yes,
But when you were setting the example with regards to even number,
yes.
If you take the dictionary definition, it will tell you the same to even number. So when you go to the real, it will give you the same definition.
Okay, so the point is you can have, like we said, there can be overlaps where, like the definition water is H2O is. I will have to disable the mic for everyone. I'm trying not to, but the noise is too much. So I've done that. I'm saying that so you can have water is H2O, which is supposed to be typically a theoretical definition, but captured as a lexical definition because the lexicon has taken it from what? The theory, from the discipline, and has captured. So that can happen. However, if I pulled it out of it and put there, that definition is a real one that has been captured into what? A lexical definition. So that is how you interrogate it. So I can have water is H2O, which is a theoretical definition. Then it is put into the dictionary. So if you ask me that this definition standing there, water is H2O, what is it? It is actually what? A theoretical definition. If it finds itself in a dictionary and you are calling it lexical, it's a theoretical definition that has found itself into what? A lexicon. That's the point I'm making. What makes it theoretical is if you don't know hydrogen, 2 molecules, oxygen, what have you, you won't understand water defined as H2O. You need to have a theoretical background. That meaning. That's what makes it theoretical. So where it finds itself may not be able to clarify or distinguish it from its nature. Therefore, what you should know as a critical thinker is what we said earlier, like the way we dealt with explicit and implicit meanings. I told you that the person may be asking it as if it's a question, but you go beyond and read the mind of the speaker. In the same way, if a definition that is theoretical found itself in a lexicon, especially lexicons for specific fields, you see some disciplines have their dictionary. So it is a French dictionary or a chemistry dictionary. Then you know that it's a theoretical definition. It just found itself there. So read the textbook. You see why we made a caveat. There can be overlaps. Sometimes it is a stipulative definition where that is coined, and before long, it is taken and put into the dictionary, like doomsop, for example. I don't know if it's already in the Guinness Book of Records or it's found itself in a certain dictionary. Okay, so overlaps are possible. The nature of the definition will not be changed because it found itself somewhere. Let me see if I can allow mics again. Okay. Now, if that is fine, I can take another question. Thank you, Joseph. Nana, please put your hand down. Yes, sir.
Madam, how is a question ostensive? An example of an ostensive question.
Ostensive definition.
Yes, please, ostensive
See the dance over there. That is Palogo.
Oh, okay.
It is in the textbook. This is dito from the textbook. I don't have it here, but I know it's there.
Okay.
See that dance over there. That is Palogo. If I say this to you and I ask you, if this were a definition, where would you place it? It is an ostensive definition. It's pointing. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Emmanuel, put your hand down, please, if you are done, so I can pick the others.
Madam, please, I'm not done. I have one question.
Okay.
Go ahead. Let's take it. We'll take all the questions at the end. Yeah.
Okay, madam, please. So a definition can be that's the lexical, and also it can also be theoretical. That's from the definition and also.
Yes. Okay. Look down there. Overlaps in types of definitions discussed. Okay. So demand, inflation in economics is not going to take your balloon and blowing it. The cons speaks technically about it, but that can be now captured and put into a lexicon, for example, or we can all use it stipulatively. So one definition can play several roles. It can be lexical now and operational then what have you, but its origin. That's why I use the theoretical one to make the case that when you see water is H2O, you can never call it lexical. It is a theoretical definition that has found itself in a lexicon. All right, great. Let's take more quickly. So I can now take Princess. Princess, you answer. Ray, is yours a question, please? Ask. We don't have too much time, but I want to clear all. So if it's a question, please unmute and speak. Did I?
It was, but you already answered. Someone else asked them.
Thank you very much. That's fine. So if you could kindly put down your hand. I'm trying to clear the hands now.
Sure.
All right. Rebecca, if yours is a question, please unmute and ask, please. Thank you. The same with Ray, Ernestina, Arthur, Bright, Entie. I hope I pronounced your name well.
Yes, please.
Go ahead, right.
Please, my question is about the defining and the definendum.
Yes.
Yes, I entered in it, so I need a bit.
They are the parts. I don't want to repeat things that I've said already. They are the parts of a definition. Definiendum, definiens. Like the parts of a human being, the head and the tail. That's all. Okay, so the definiendum is that one word that we don't understand. The definiens are the parts of the definition that we are using to give meaning to that one word. That's all. That's definiendum and definiens. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Most welcome. Ray, please, if it's a question asked, I've called you 3 times. I don't want to skip you, that's why. Joseph, was yours a question? If it's answered, please put down your hand. Ernestina Arthur.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hello, yes, madam. Good evening.
Joseph, go ahead.
Yes, please. The link that was displayed was, I joined and there was a lot of people there, but later that I found this link and I joined later, and then I see that you are closed. So please, I want to know if there's another class before after this.
You should just always go to the course site. When I say course site, the group that I have placed you in. So you know your group. When you go to your group, go to the announcement tool. All the announcements there are for the class. The links are at what? Updated. I've labeled it updated links. When we had to revise, and then I had to take my colleagues on in addition to my group, because he can't take you. He won't be able to. So I updated it. After that, that link set is there. It's on that document. So anytime we have a class, the links and the times are there. Use that link. Now, today, I think group 31, the lecturer and I think the students approached him or something that they would want a change of time or something because they are having some clashes. I would normally not have sanctioned it because then it creates problems for all of us. That same time, there is another lecture going on. If you can't be there, you should take the Saturday slot. There's a Saturday, there was no clash, so they should have attended the Saturday one. But maybe the change came only today. No problem. So that lecturer has sent another link through the tutor. I think the tutor will take today's slot. That one will come this one after our time. I saw the time, it's 5:30 to maybe 7:30. It's one exception. If it will continue, I'll take that link and circulate because we want all our students of all the different groups to have access to all the links. There is nothing to hide anywhere. So that if this time didn't fit someone, they can still have an opportunity at interaction. Your surest point of reference is to go to the course site. Otherwise, you go and pick my 1:30 time link and you'll be entering my 3:30 class with that 1:30 link. You won't get in. As I'm here now, if someone is trying to get into the group 33 slot, they will be at a waiting room. You see, so you should reference the course site. Go there all the time. If you have a challenge or there's a change of link or something, hey, send me an email. I'm prompt on them. I'll respond. Okay? So that is it. You won't be at a waiting room or jumping from one place to the other if you are doing what I'm saying. You have all the links to Dr. Kwesi, myself, Dr. Miles, Dr. Ani, Dr. Morgan, Dr. Hussein. Dr. Hussein couldn't come. That's why I'm taking his slot. And then Mr. Okansi. All the 6 of us. Our links are there and the time for it. You can't take my link for 3:30 and try to use it to access my 1:30 class. It will take you to the 3:31 and I wouldn't be there then. Okay, so the links are there. Copy the whole thing at the time that it is stated and the day. And God willing, you'll meet the lecture. Thank you. Let me take Shra. Shra, if it's a question, please ask. We have 4 minutes to go. If not, then you would kindly lower your hand for me. Thank you. Ernestina,
No.
if it's a question. Hello, sir.
Madam.
Go ahead, sir. If it's a question, go ahead. Hey. Is there a question?
Madam, please have a question.
Collins, we are finished.
Hello, madam.
Yes, sir.
So when you say water is life, what type of definition does it fall under?
What is this?
Water is life.
Water is life.
Yes.
What do you think? I don't even think it's defining. But if it is a definition, where will you place it? I'll place it under stipulative.
Yes, please.
Yes, I'll call it stipulative.
Yes.
I'm giving you an instance. I'm listing one example of what I think water is. But it's not a good definition. It looks more like a statement of fact. You're stating something, or even better still, like a perspective to what you think water is. Okay. But if I say the question said, take this as a definition, what type of definition would you think it is? I would say we are stipulating what we should call water. So between yourself and me, you can say water is life. Someone can say, like when we say money is blood,
Stipulated.
We are stipulating it. We are agreeing to call it that. Okay. But it's not a good definition. Collins, we are facing your question. I've not called you today. Say. Collins, is your question? Nick. Oh, Nick, I've not called you today. Please, is there a question? Unmute and ask. We don't have much time now, so that I can end. Nick. Nick, Collins. When I see there's https/teams, whatever, I'm able to call you with that. Okay. You could unmute.
Madam, please, I have a question.
Is it Nick? Is this Nick?
Yes, madam.
Nick, go ahead. Go
yes,
ahead.
madam. All right, madam. My question also goes to that's Sakai.
Yeah.
I still have 8 courses over there, including writing. What do you call it? Writing something. So I don't know the reason why up to now.
Including what? Say. You said on Sakai.